is Keith from Compass Promotions, and we've got a few different things that we want to talk about with respect to what Compass does from a product perspective and your give back. Right. But let's talk a little bit about you. How long have you been with the company, like that sort of thing? Where's it headquartered, that sort of stuff?
Okay, so I've been with Compass for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
I am their director of marketing, and we are based in New York. So
nice.
Out of Manhattan, One of the few suppliers in Manhattan.
Agreed, so, And you guys have a pretty wide variety of products throughout the line, right?
Yes, so kind of our niche is that we represent a lot of retail brands in the promotional space. So they come to us and say, you guys handle this. Sure. I can't handle 30 emails over virtual. So we do our own imports, but primarily we focus on kind of pushing our brands.
How many brands are you currently?
Maybe like 15.
Wow.
So a good size, but also we try to keep it concentrated and give the care we can to those brands. So brands like Leatherman and Maglite and Buck Knives. So a lot of like outdoor retail brands that people know.
Sure. Yeah. So because of your finger on the pulse of retail, you probably get to see more so than a lot of the other suppliers in this space. The trend towards give back in product. Right. So as a result, now you've got a few things that have made their way into the line. That's a reflection of that. Now, was that? Did you guys go searching for that, or was that more?
I wish we could say we went to seek that out, but really kind of it came to us. So MPOWERD, it kind of happened around the same time, but MPOWERD, they're based out of Brooklyn, kind of a startup company at the time. They've only been around, I want to say, like 3 years. And we're trying to figure out this space. They were getting some calls about promo, but knew they could be doing more there. And it was like, do we do this ourselves? Or do we try to find a partner? We were in a good position as far as having like brands that they felt like they fit into that family of brands. And it kind of just was a perfect fit. So
for sure.
From there.
So talk a little bit about these two brands, these two companies, and I'm guessing that had to be a pretty unique situation when you're having a discussion with a potential new product supplier, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, they've got this incredible give back piece that's going along with it. So let's talk a little bit about like the two different product lines and kind of how they differ and then how they're the same.
Absolutely. So we'll start with B Bottle. So this is also a startup company, and their mission was to just design the best bottle that they could make, and obviously a lot of competition out there for that. So kind of a key feature, can I demo this? So a key feature of this is you have kind of a standard opening in the top, but you also have the bottom comes out.
Interesting.
And so a few advantages to that is obviously it's easier to clean. And you can fit ice in there, but then you have this infuser cage that comes out, and you can put tea, fruit, mints, herbs, whatever you want in there to infuse with your water. So so again, a premium bottle, and then a part of making the best bottle they could make and cutting down on plastic waste and all that, they also give back to water.org. So each bottle purchased will give a donation to water.org automatically, and that will help supply clean water to people in developing countries. So that's B Bottle. And then
how long have you been carrying that line?
This has been a year. So this is like we're just starting our second year with them. All
right, and then we've got the MPOWERD product, which is a whole separate category unto itself.
A whole separate category and a bit of a different kind of give back situation.
And a unique give back story as well.
Yes. So MPOWERD makes solar powered inflatable lanterns. So these come flat, you blow them up, they float. You can hang them, you can attach them to a backpack, they're lightweight. And so while you're hiking or you're outside during the day, it's getting energy from the sun. And then at night you can you have a lantern or light.
Pretty cool.
So yeah,
portable, packable, easy to travel.
Yes, very durable. You can stand on this thing and it wouldn't collapse. They have a pretty extensive product line. This is kind of their base model. It's a bit smaller in size. They kind of differ in size, but then also power capacity. Some of them have like two-way charging, so you can charge them and plug them into a wall to charge them in case you don't have time to do solar. And you can charge your phone with them as well. So now the give back component to this, MPOWERD is a B corporation. They work with, I think it's something like over 650 NGOs throughout the world. And so they have a program where when you purchase one is then donated to their program, and whatever NGO that is
currently in need,
wherever that is, they will donate to that cause. So you're donating the product. So not only is this like an awesome product to have for yourself, but you're sort of giving this to a greater cause. So just examples of some of that, it could be developing nations that maybe don't have electricity in everywhere, and so you have like schools that kids can't study at night. Now they have this light. You have health facilities that don't have can't operate, right? And then also just kind of functioning around your home. So you're giving a renewable resource to these people, and then kind of another level of that is also just like natural disasters. So that could be here in the United States or abroad as well. So anywhere. So California wildfires, Puerto Rico, and the interesting thing about them is they will donate a product based on kind of the need of the situation. So you have a fire in California where people are without power. They need one where they can charge their phone as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's it's a combination of the product ingenuity. Right. So this is essentially it kind of feels like a beach ball. Right, so it's a little squishy, and it's because it's used air to inflate it, and yet it really only have just this very small light source here at the bottom of that. But because the way this is created and the opaqueness of it, it actually creates a lantern effect. So actually, for the size of this piece, the amount of illumination that it creates is enormous. By comparison to what you would think from, this can't possibly be as powerful as it turns out to be. And like you said, this is sort of the entry level one. So if you need to power a larger camp, if you have broader needs from a centralized light source, you can arrange a few of these in a way that would allow for some pretty significant illumination. And the thing that I think you and I and the rest of the world can agree upon is that natural disasters are not going away. And they seem to be hastening and picking up with their intensity and their force
this is true.
and their frequency. So knowing that your purchase not only will benefit you, be it on your backpack or your camping trip or my whitewater rafting trip to the Colorado River I'm taking this year. These are going to be great for that. But knowing also that literally there's a child somewhere out there that if they can spend more time studying, that they might be able to lift themselves out of poverty if they have that opportunity in something as simple as a light that we all take so very for granted. In many other parts of the world, they don't have that same luxury. So knowing that we have the opportunity to spread that in a way that not only is it that I'm giving you something useful, I'm actually giving you hope. By what this would allow you to be able to accomplish. So
well said.
Thanks. Because of Compass's position within the industry and the fact that you do get to interact with so many retail brands, and you've had a year under your belt with these products, do you see increase in the demand for the request? Like, are you getting an increase in quotes month over month for these types of products? Talk about what you've seen so far.
So I think we made a pretty big splash actually at PPI last year with MPOWERD. B-Bottle was like a little bit later, a few months after actually. So a lot of it was sort of us educating ourselves as well as educating the consumers here, the distributors here.
Sure.
And so I think last year was a big kind of education moment for not only us, but other distributors.
Agreed.
And then sort of as the year went on, you start to see more people, I think, being able to sell the idea of this thing. We get, a ton of people that say, I love just presenting this information.
Right.
Whether or not they get it is maybe a different story, but people definitely love pushing this product and being able to come to a meeting with something like this. And yeah, as far as demand and sales have been great.
Good.
A very diverse buying groups as far as end users.
Yeah, as far as what logos are getting, right?
Exactly. I mean, really anything, which has kind of been surprising. But definitely a great focus on things like energy companies have been kind of the obvious, anyone related into renewables or solar has been great.
Yeah. Obviously, we're here today to talk about specifically what we've seen from the supplier side of what's going on, and from water to light to children's issues to battling cancer. There's just been this groundswell of product-based opportunities and suppliers like yourself who have come up with something that allows us the opportunity when we're going out and talking to buyers about what it is that they may want to put their logo on. A lot of times now we start with what does the organization care about, what's important to them, before we even get into any of the specifics around how many things do you need to buy, when do you need them, how much do you want to spend, those kind of things, right? So to hear from you from the other side of the aisle that you're seeing an increase in the pace and the activity just suggests that amongst the folks out there who might be making these kinds of buying decisions, that the appetite for this kind of thing is growing.
Yes.
So if you had the chance, now that you have the chance, you have the opportunity to speak directly to the consumer.
Yeah.
What would you want them thinking about when it comes to when they're getting ready to make this kind of purchase with respect to whether or not give back might be something that might be for them or not for them? Where do you come out on that?
Well, I mean, the first point is both of these products are just amazing on their own.
Yep.
So whether or not that is a company value of yours, I think there's still just value in the promotional product itself.
Yep.
And it's something that's going to, like you said, be useful and people are going to actually use. I think another level to this is also I use these all the time. There's a candle version that I keep in my home, and it creates a really nice light and has become a reading light for me. Cool. And travel around the house with it before bed. I just don't want bright lights or whatever. But it's I have to use that light, and then I have to be conscious of I need to charge this. So I put this in my windowsill before I go to bed. And if I forget, I won't have a fully charged lantern.
Right.
And it's a daily reminder that there is stuff we can be doing to be environmentally conscious. So I think from that level of just creating more consciousness in your daily life, for not just flipping a switch where everyone doesn't necessarily have that opportunity, is kind of a learning experience. But then as far as what you're saying about if your company has a specific value and this hits on it, I think you have a way more powerful selling tool to be able to show this is where our values stand, and this is it right here. Right.
Well, to me, so for instance, and we'll use the bottle just because it's a little bit easier from a Google perspective from the logo that's on here. But when I'm gonna pass this to you as the person, I produced this and now I want you to have a reminder of our interaction. If you just look around your house and you think about the things that you have, the majority of us don't assign a positive or a negative connotation to most of the things that are sitting around our home.
Right.
But when you get to one of these where you knew what the story was, it has a way of engendering a positive reaction. And especially for you, like you were saying, this has become a ritual for you. And so if you're thinking about it purely from an advertising perspective, what is that your brand has become a part of that person's ritual. And by the positive association with your logo, what you really created is a repeated and consistent positive reaction in the mind of that consumer for your brand. And I don't know how many other things most of us have in our lives that when we look at it, you get that I feel good about myself in that correlation. So that's it, man. Like, these are great products. It's really important to know that one, like, yes, you can get retail brands and be able to co-brand those. And there's a whole nother piece that we really didn't talk about that maybe we'll do another time, which is by putting my logo next to a known logo from a retail brand, what I'm actually doing is elevating the impression of my brand in the consumer's eyes, because if they assign a positive correlation to that first logo, by putting my logo next to it, I'm creating that positive correlation. So lots of good going on in these products, man. Keith, I really appreciate you coming out,
Thanks
man.
a lot.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks.